Hey, this is Jared from PC Gamer, and look what the cat dragged in. I've got a couple of massive boxes sitting in my front room. Now, I'm not going to keep you waiting. Let's get right to this and open it up. I think you all know what we're here for. So, this first box, it has a giant Pelican briefcase, and that's kind of cool. So, we've got the two CPUs here, the 1920X and the 1950X, and bear with me while I fast forward here. I'm going to pop this out of the case. Yeah, that was a lot more difficult than I expected, but they stick in there pretty good. But check this out. There's actually lighting down in here. And yeah, there's a little switch up here. I'll show you in a sec here. Anyway, we've got both CPUs. We've also got this cool little tchotchke. It's a dead, apparently, Threadripper that they've custom engraved with PC Gamer on it, which is kind of cool. And a little magnetized plastic case for it. You can pull the CPU out, but I'm pretty sure it's not going to work since AMD says it's not going to work. So, and that basically does it for the CPU portion of the box. Let's go over to the other box for a second here. And in this one, we've got all of the other components. We got an Asus Zenith Extreme motherboard, so that's a nice high-end motherboard. It's actually got a Samsung 960 EVO 500GB M.2 NVMe drive pre-installed, so you can't see that, but it's under the heatsink in there. And then we've got two kits of G.Skill TridentZ DDR4 3200 RAM. This is CL14 RAM, so this is basically top-of-the-line stuff. There's not going to be any bottlenecks from memory running our Threadripper test platform, so that's cool. And of course the RAM has RGB lighting because it's 2017. Everything has to have RGB lighting if it's for a gamer. Awesome. I digress. And other things we got in here, we've got this Thermaltake liquid cooling solution, and presumably that uses the Asus mounting system, so you can use the Threadripper mounting bracket that comes in the box, which I'll show in a second. And then we've also got a Thermaltake 1200 watt PSU, 80 plus gold only. And it says it's Haswell compatible on the box. So I don't know, that seems like it might have been sitting around for 3 or 4 years. But nevertheless, it should be more than sufficient for running Threadripper. And while I'm here, let's go ahead and open up one of these CPU packages. Now, you got to pull off the side cover here. Unwrap the styrofoam or whatever casing, and looks like this one's actually partially popped out. I have not actually opened this already, but I could tell looking from the inside that it had come loose a little bit. Yeah, this is pretty involved getting into this. So got to unscrew this, pull it apart, and yeah, I'm gonna bear with me here. I'm gonna pop this sucker out, I hope. And here you go. We got, so there's the CPU portion. Now I gotta pull off this metal clamp. And alrighty then, we've got the CPU out. Threadripper. Now, this rubber grommet that's around the CPU, actually you leave that attached. So this is, I'll show in a separate video how you actually install Threadripper, but this is kind of cool. Like, it's very server oriented. So if you didn't think that Threadripper and its 4094 pins came from the server world, well, it did. And that's why they've got this giant socket. It's basically almost twice the size it needs to be because there's only 4 memory channels enabled on Threadripper, whereas Epic uses 8 channels. And yeah, anyway, it has half the PCIe lanes, half the memory channels of Epic, but the same socket. So, you know, a good chunk of that socket is not being used. Anyway, pretty cool stuff here. Stay tuned. Benchmarks coming next week, August 10th. So, hope you enjoyed this unboxing. Take care.